Hey guys, in this video I'm going to talk about the different types of protein powders and which one is best. So you can get protein powders in a wide variety of sources, two of the main ones being from either dairy or vegan sources. We also have things like egg or beef protein isolates, but I'm mostly going to be focusing on the milk-based and plant-based proteins. So one of the most well-known types of protein is a whey protein concentrate. These are usually made from milk and contain anywhere from 60 to 80% protein, and the rest is all carbohydrates and fats. So this type of protein is going to take a little longer to digest than some of the other proteins. If you're lactose intolerant, you might be affected by this protein a little bit more. Whey protein concentrates are typically going to be your cheaper options. And if you're not too worried about carbohydrates or fat content, then this might be the best source for you. Next, we have our whey protein isolates, which go through a little bit more filtration to make sure that they're a leaner protein source. These typically have anywhere from 90 to 95% protein, the rest being a little bit of carbs and a little bit of fat. And people that are lactose intolerant are going to tolerate an isolate a bit better than they would a concentrate. I typically only buy whey protein isolates as I find that they give me the best bang for my buck and lowest amount of carbohydrates and fats. I use Yummy Sports ISO, which has 0.5 grams of carb and fat and 27 grams of protein, and it tastes delicious. So that's my preference. Going even further than a whey protein isolate, we have our whey protein hydrolysates. And these are the most filtered type of protein that you can get. So they further heat it and use enzymes to break down the protein, essentially digesting it for you. And this is the most lean source of protein that you can find. This type of protein is absorbed rapidly by the body, and it usually costs a little bit more than any other type of protein. Hydrolysates are also noted to raise insulin levels faster than the other types of protein due to the quick absorption. That should be taken into account. So that's it for our whey proteins, which come from milk. On the flip side of whey, we also have casein protein, which is also from milk. Casein is absorbed a lot more slowly by the body, and when it comes in contact with your stomach acid, it turns into a gel-like substance, further slowing down the rate of digestion. This gives you a gradual flow of amino acids into the bloodstream, and is usually taken right before bed. Personally, I find that casein proteins don't taste very good. They're very bitter and kind of chalky in their texture, and I find that across the board. I haven't found a casein protein that I enjoyed taking, but it's another option out there. Casein proteins are typically found in things like Greek yogurt or cottage cheese, so you can get that in through other means in your diet. There's been studies that have proven that casein proteins are no better than whey proteins for putting on muscle mass, so personally just go with what type of milk-based protein that works for you. A less popular option, we do have egg-based protein. So this is quite a rare one. These digest rather quickly and might not keep you as full as another type of protein would. We also have beef isolate proteins, which some do taste okay, but I've heard a lot of complaints about beef isolate proteins. A newer one I've been seeing on the market is salmon isolate. This is one of the most expensive types that I've seen, and it usually comes in a smaller tub. I'm not sure if the flavoring on it is good, but if you are sensitive to dairy, then this might be a good option for you. But again, you are paying a premium for any type of salmon protein. Into the vegan proteins, we do have things like pea protein or brown rice protein. Both of these are going to have different amino acid profiles, but vegan proteins are oftentimes missing essential amino acids that you would get in a whey protein, but pea proteins are high in BCAAs. Pea proteins do digest a little bit slower than whey proteins, but faster than casein proteins, so it's kind of in the middle there. We also have hemp proteins, which is made from the hemp plant. Not exactly the same one as marijuana that you would smoke, but it's another option out there. And these ones are typically going to be higher in omega-3 fatty acids as well, so they're good for your overall health. But I find that this protein is usually a little bit higher in calories. There's brown rice protein, which does have all essential amino acids, but it's too low in lysine to be considered full in its amino acid profile, so it is not a complete protein. But again, if you're vegan, it's another option that's out there for you. If you're looking to get a vegan protein, you're probably going to find something that's a combination of brown rice, pea protein, flax seeds, chia seeds, hemp, and alfalfa. So these are some vegan options if you can't have any dairy or meat-based proteins. So which protein's the best? Well, it depends. Depends on what your goals are, what foods you allow yourself to eat, and what you find to be the best tasting. Personally, for myself, I only buy whey protein isolates. These have come down in price over the years and are kind of the standard for any type of whey that you may buy, whereas the concentrate, which used to be the most popular option, is now more of the budget option. And hydrolysates are, I find, not to be the best tasting and are a little bit too expensive. Now, if you're vegan, then obviously a vegan-based protein is going to be best for you. I would only recommend vegan proteins if you're actually vegan. Vegan proteins typically are very chalky and have a weird texture to them. They oftentimes don't taste the best, and the protein source that you're getting is going to be less quality than something whey-based would be. If you're vegan, then by all means go for one of those vegan options. But if you're not vegan, obviously going for a whey-based protein is going to probably be your best bet. The animal-based proteins are okay if you can't tolerate whey and you still want to get your protein in. They do have a little bit of a different taste, but the Redcon 1 MRE protein is a fairly decent animal-based protein powder. And caseins, I wouldn't even bother with casein. I get questions all the time about, should I take casein at night? You shouldn't take casein at all. A whey protein is going to give you pretty much the same effect. At the end of the day, you're still digesting the protein, but that's just my opinion. If you find that casein powder works for you, then by all means keep taking your casein. Personally, the king here is the whey protein isolates, which are going to be one of the cheaper options. It's going to be the most effective protein powder, containing all the essential amino acids in a good amount. It digests very well, especially for some people that are lactose intolerant or can't tolerate any type of lactose. It has a very little amount. Some have no lactose in it at all. So this is going to be beneficial for if you're lactose intolerant, or if you're not, it's going to digest a little bit better. Some people get bloating from whey protein concentrates, but a whey protein isolate is going to reduce the amount that you do bloat. So the clear winner, obviously the whey protein isolate. And a runner-up, a whey protein concentrate's good if you want to buy a large amount of protein for a cheaper price. Then go ahead with the whey protein concentrates. But most proteins nowadays are going to be kind of a blend of a few different types of whey protein, or animal-based or plant-based. So read the label, find one that you like, and if your body can tolerate it very well, then keep going with it. What's most important is finding a flavor that you enjoy and one that you can take consistently and aren't grossed out by. And for any vegans, obviously take your vegan protein. But if you're vegetarian, don't be afraid to try a whey-based protein. It's going to be a lot more effective and tasty than a vegan protein. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button below to stay updated when I post new videos. And I'll see you guys next time.